Today's video is sponsored by Factor. Welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. I am currently driving Melissa's 2024 Yukon Denali. Now, I'll give you the backstory on how we acquired this vehicle and why. We had a Bronco, and Melissa drove it for a while, and I ordered a new Ford Super Duty. Well, it took forever to come in, and they kept delaying the delivery date of the Super Duty. So I found a GMC 3500 on the lot, and I bought that. And I was going to forget about the Super Duty, but it came in like a week or two later, and I ended up buying the Super Duty. So we had two vehicles for Melissa to drive, the GMC 3500 and the Bronco. Once she started driving that pickup truck, she liked the larger vehicle, okay? So I thought, you know what, why don't we get rid of both of them and get something that she really likes? So we traded the Bronco and the 3500 on this Yukon Denali. And it was the first time ever I left a car dealership and I thought I did pretty good. I thought I did real good because the Bronco and the pickup were paid off. So we traded both in. We got a nice 24 Yukon Denali and a big check when we left the dealership, and that never happened. So I thought I did pretty good. Well, Melissa likes the vehicle, and it only has about 12,000 miles on it right now. She's had it a little over a year, but now there's a recall that came out, and it's pretty interesting. It is. I finally found the truth. Now, when I say I found the truth, I didn't find it on the NTSB website or the GM website. I actually found it from another YouTube channel. Now, the recall is for 2021 through 2024 model years, the L87 6.2 liter V8 engine. So it is a voluntary recall for vehicles that are already out on the road, but it is a mandatory recall for all unsold vehicles. So if a dealer has a bunch of 2024 sitting on the lot, they're not allowed to sell them right now until they go through the remedy. Now, the fix is more of a Band-Aid, actually. Let's look up the recall. All right, this is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's website. I'm going to enter my information in, see what it says. All right, here is the unrepaired recalls for this vehicle. This is the recall number N252494000. Summary: General Motors has decided that a defect which relates to motor vehicle safety may exist in certain 21 through 24 model year Escalade blah blah blah. The connecting rod and or crankshaft components in these vehicles may have manufacturing defects that can lead to engine damage and engine failure. The remedy: dealers will inspect and, as necessary, repair or replace the engine. Vehicles that pass will be provided a higher viscosity oil. This is what it all comes down to right here, which will also require a new oil fill cap and a oil filter replacement and an owner's manual insert. Now, when they say the dealer inspects the vehicle, all they really need to do is plug it in and scan the computer, and they're looking for a code. Now, the code that they're looking for is the DTC P0016 code. And if it throws that code, that indicates there's a potential issue with the engine. That code indicates a potential issue with the crankshaft position sensor or the timing of the engine. If the code is found, the vehicle is not considered safe to drive and is put on hold until further instructions from GM are received. If the code is not present, the dealer may further inspect the engine. The inspection may include a visual check of signs for damage or wear. But if the engine passes all checks, it will receive an oil change using 0W40 oil instead of the previously used OW20 oil, and a new oil fill cap to reflect the change. An updated owner's manual insert will also be provided to inform the customer of the change. So basically it comes down to this. GM is having a problem with their 6.2 liter V8 engines. If you have a 2021 through 2024, you are under the recall. You're supposed to take it to the dealer. They hook it up to the computer. If it throws a code, your engine has problems. A lot of them have been blowing up. If your engine throws that code, it sounds like they're going to replace the engine. I doubt that they have any to do that with right now because this is a big problem. If it doesn't throw the code, the Band-Aid is to put a higher viscosity oil in your engine along with a new oil filter, which it's the same oil filter, a new oil cap that will just say 0W40 instead of 0W20, and a note in your owner's manual. So kind of, they're trying to kick the can down the road a little bit. It sounds like there's a problem. So if they decided to go with a higher viscosity oil, you have to ask yourself why they didn't know that before. The truth is, they did know that before, because this same engine in every other country besides the US, they run 5W30 in the engine. So why would they do that and run 0W20 here in the States? Look no further than the EPA. Lower drag with the lower viscosity oil gets you a little bit, a tiny little bit better fuel economy to meet EPA standards. That's why they're running that oil in these trucks in the United States and not anywhere else in the world. I had to pause filming there for a little bit because we had a huge downpour. Now, 5 minutes later, it's beautiful again. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. GM only recommended 0W20 oil. Now they changed it to 0W40 oil in the 6.2 liter here in the United States. Everywhere else, they run 5W30. And the reason is to meet emission standards and mileage standards. It's the government, okay? Now, I didn't know this. I had to do a lot of research. I started off with a friend of mine sent me a link to a video from Motor Oil Geek, and it is Lake Speed Jr. You remember Lake Speed, the Winston Cup driver? Well, his son, Lake Speed Jr., he knows everything there is to know about oils. I highly recommend you check out his channel. That is Motor Oil Geek. But he went into a lot more detail than what I am. And after I watched that video, I did some more homework. And even AI, ChatGPT, says the reason they recommended that oil was because of our government. Which, in my opinion, is just ridiculous. It's just another thing on the long list of how government screws things up. So now we have, in this video, what used to be a great engine, the 6.2, but now they're trying to meet those emission standards and mileage standards set in place by the government, and they're blowing up all over the place. Now, this engine, 6.7 Power Stroke diesel, I get about 20 miles to the gallon out of this, but with all of the emission controls on it, if it didn't have all that, I'd probably get 28 or 30 miles to the gallon out of that. So a little bit better mileage, but they blow up, and a lot worse mileage in this one, but yet so far it stays together. However, I know that truck right there, I won't get half the miles out of that engine as you would like an old 7.3 Power Stroke. Just not going to happen. Those 7.3s, I know guys with 400,000 or 500,000 miles on them, and they're still going strong. Never going to happen in a truck like this. I will probably trade this in once I hit 100,000 miles. I have an extended warranty on this up to 100,000 miles. I don't even know what all it covers, but I think it's pretty decent. At that point, I'll get rid of it. This one here, I'm not sure what we're going to do. Right now, the trade-in value is probably down considerably with the recall in place, so I don't think I have much choice other than to get it into the dealer. Hopefully, it doesn't throw a code. We put the different oil in and run it for a few years and get rid of it. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. It's not the end of the world, but like I said, it's just another thing in the long list of screw-ups. It really is. I mean, we have pretty much perfected the internal combustion engine. It's been around a long time. And the diesel engine, like in this truck right here, it just seems like with all the regulation, we're starting to go the other way. But anyway, enough about that. It is now lunchtime, which is the perfect time to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Factor. Factor takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success. You can skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, plus veggie, and more. Factor meals eliminate the hassle of prepping, cooking, or cleanup. Simply heat and savor the good stuff. Factor also offers gourmet meals as part of your weekly options, which means you can get a little gourmet with your meal plan whenever you're craving something special. Keep an eye out for Surf and Surf, which is shrimp and salmon, or Surf and Turf, which is steak and shrimp, coming soon. As you know, we stay busy all the time and our schedule changes quite frequently. That's where Factor comes into play for us. We always know we're going to have something quick and easy to prepare, and it's absolutely delicious. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50OWTM to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50OWTM at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. All right, we just had lunch. Next on the agenda, I need to do some painting on the inside of this trailer. This is a 14-foot Legend premium trailer, all aluminum, 7,000 GVW, only weighs in just under 2,000 pounds. We got about, I'm calling it a coat and a half on the walls right now. Definitely needs at least one more coat. This stuff really sucks it up. I wasn't going to use this trailer till we got it all painted. We've been using it on and off though. It just didn't happen. But we got it all cleaned up. Going to finish the walls, paint the floor. The floor is going to be like a light gray. I'm using a heavy duty porch paint. And the floor will be like anti-skid. And then we'll get some E-track for the walls and we'll get this thing all set up. All right, I put another coat on it. Got a little bit left in the tray. This is 2 gallons in here. Melissa's just gonna use what's left in the tray, looking for where it's a little thin. Then I say we let it go, and then tomorrow, once it's dry, we'll look at it, but I may have to get another gallon. I don't know. And then we'll do the floor after this. But Melissa, they have this E-track stuff. Put the track on the walls. There's all different things. You can hang stuff from it. You can build shelves off of it.
Okay.
But the way I see this is I can put a lot of tools in here for when we go down to the cabin, or if we're going to a show somewhere, we can load it up with stuff, you know.
What color are you doing the floor?
It's a gray.
Yeah, okay.
And I was going to do the floor color part way up, but it's got that diamond plate trim on the bottom.
Right.
I figured just do it this way.
Boy, the sound in here is crazy.
I know, it's coming off the road.
It's like a speaker.
It's
like the road sound is like magnified in here.
I know, you stand outside, you can hardly hear it.
It's crazy.
But yeah, this will be nice when it's
yeah.
So if you use up what you got there, I'll run the Hunt Man somewhere.
Okay.
And then we may have a T-ball game tonight.
I know.
It depends. It might have got rained out.
Which is so sweet. We need to tell you how that came to be. We said to Ty, because I've been going to T-ball games and Mike and Hunter stayed home. So Hannah said she'll come over and stay with Hunter so Dad and I can go. So we said to Ty, did you hear that? Pap and Yaya are going to go to your T-ball game. And he goes, well, and he shakes his head and we're like, what? He goes, it's not a real baseball. Or we didn't say T-ball. We said we're going to go to your baseball game. And he shook his head and he goes, well, it's not a real baseball game. I'm only 5. It's T-ball.
Yeah, I said, no, it's a real game. He's like, we hit off the tee. I go, it's still a baseball game.
It was so cute. I think he thought we were expecting to go to the Pittsburgh Pirate game.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you finish this up, and we'll be back in a bit. All right, next up, what do you think, Hunter? Sheets run? Sound good? All right, we're off to a T-ball game, and I loaded up my big camera. I'm gonna look like a...
Good.
It's...
Hey, we've lived our whole lives for this moment, so...
I got a 200 to 600 millimeter lens, and by the way, Levi got some really good pictures with it today of some turkeys out the trail. Yeah. I'll add them into the video, but that lens is amazing. He was probably, what do you think, 100 yards from him when he took those pictures?
Yeah.
And you can crop in... Look at Hunter checking us out. You can crop in and it still stays super focused.
Yeah. And they were so funny. All puffed up, strutting around. All 3 of them like kept going in a circle. Really had no idea what they were doing.
There wasn't even a hen in sight.
No idea.
All right, we are on our way home from the T-ball game. That was fun, you know?
It was.
And I would call it organized chaos, but it's not really organized,
no.
You know? But yeah, the kids had fun. I was telling Melissa, it's funny how they're 5-year-olds, but from now till 8 years old, they really start to develop into baseball players. Because I remember I used to coach... I think it was 8-year-olds, right?
Yep.
And older later on, but 8-year-olds. But the next 3 years is when they really start to develop into ball players. All right, we got back from the T-ball game. I just dropped Melissa off at the house. I need to run down to the Woodyard just for a bit. But man, I got to get cutting grass. It's getting tall. It's just been raining pretty much on and off every day for about a week and a half. I just came down here to the Woodyard, kind of make a plan for tomorrow. Levi got these IBC totes ready to go. Filled up a couple. Tomorrow, I think I'll separate out some of these red oak logs and maybe split a couple, 3 or 4 cords on the Evo. And then we need to saw some lumber on the mill after that. And if the weather cooperates, I want to get this woodshed stained because I think later this week I'm going to head down to the cabin. But speaking of the cabin, I have several cell cameras down there, and today I got a video of an animal that I have never seen down there, a skunk. Not a big deal, but it got me thinking. I have video from the cabin, I think, of just about every animal in West Virginia. I mean, deer, turkey, bear, raccoons, possum, skunk today. I even have video of a fisher, fox, coyotes, squirrels. I'm sure I'm missing a few. But yeah, I never had a video of a skunk until today. It was kind of looking at a deer. The deer thought better of it, I think. But I'm looking forward to getting back down there, and I'm looking forward to this summer. Things are starting to shape up and come together. But before I wrap this up, I want to thank everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. The Yukon Denali, we're just going to roll with it for now, see what happens. And who knows, maybe next year, if it holds together that long, trade it for something else. We'll see what happens with the market and all that. But I think that's about it. Appreciate you being here, and I will catch you on the next one.